Okay, now my microphone is on. Hello to anybody who's listening or watching. We'll switch over so they can see us and see the screen now.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to the New Art City Showcase number 2. And this is a live show where we look at art in New Art City. And I'm joined today by special guest artist Henrique Fagundes. How do you say your last name? Is that
Fagundes.
Fagundes.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
Fagundes.
Cool. Yeah. So Henrique is our current artist in residence and our second artist in residence, and what that means is that we work with him individually to produce work in New Art City and work closely to solve problems and make something really cool. And yeah, so since we're together today, we're going to look at some of the previous work that Henrique has produced on New Art City. And if there's time, so this stream should last an hour, and if there's time, we'll look at some other stuff too.
Nice.
I'm Don XYZ. I work on New Art City. I work with a team of 5 other people, and New Art City is a virtual art space where we provide tools for artists to produce virtual exhibitions. Henrique, do you want to do an intro of your work and who you are?
Just thank you for the opportunity to be here, talking about my previous work. It's so important. I've been doing work with New York City I think it's going to be like 2 years in a few months. And as I said many times before, it changed my whole poetics. I solely work with virtual exhibition, virtual reality, and augmented reality from now on. And thanks to New York City and to Don and to the team. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Cool.
Let's look at the artwork and then we can see if there are any questions that comes up. It's been a year. I think it's gonna make a year next month or this month.
Yeah, so I had to scroll down quite a bit on the homepage, but Tropical Meridional Fiction debuted about a year ago in the first New Art City Festival.
That's good.
And yeah, the New Art City Festival is a yearly event where we celebrate the community and launch a bunch of shows at the same time. And yeah, the second New Art City Festival is coming up at the end of March, but this is a little throwback to the first one. So I'm going to hop into Tropical Meridional Fiction.
I'm already here. Here are done. Where can we start? Well, I can say where the idea of Tropical Meridional Fiction came up. I was invited in November 2020 by Sammy, I think, the co-founder of New York City, to make an individual exhibition. Where are you, Don? You disappeared.
Yeah, I'm here. I just popped in.
Oh, and I was okay. I have this project called Tropical Meridional Fiction, where I try to imagine a dystopian future for my country, Brazil. But at the same time, I was thinking, the platform works best when we work with other people and work collectively and think collectively. So I invited other 4 artists, friends of mine. So there's Wendu de Mendonça, a work that myself and him created. Juno Rain, other friend of mine, Mauricio Igor, and Henrique Montagne. And together we created this collective exhibition called Tropical Meridional Fiction. That is about the fiction of a Brazilian identity. I think we can hop on I don't know if I can read the text or you want to read the text, Don?
Yeah, I can read the text.
Okay.
I'm going to read the statement here. Tropical Meridional Fiction is about a fiction of Brazilian identity. Through the individual perspectives of the artists, themes that concern its complexities are strained across territorial factors, individual subjective experiences, and digital responses to questions that arise from these conditions. Working with these specific and diverse realities, we seek to attempt to search the poetic possibilities inside the impossibilities of this national fiction. And then the next bit is in Portuguese. I think
Yeah.
it must be the same.
Yeah, I can read the Portuguese one.
I could just.
Some,
Do you want to read the Portuguese one?
That's yeah. Trocou Meridian Fiction é sobre uma ficção da identidade brasileira. Através das perspectivas individuais dos artistas, os temas que dizem respeito às complexidades dessa identidade são tensionados, a partir de fatores territoriais, experiências subjetivas individuais e respostas digitais a questões que surgem dessas condições. Trabalhando com essas realidades específicas e diversas, procuramos buscar as possibilidades poéticas dentro das impossibilidades dessa ficção nacional. A proposta é construída em torno da seguinte questão: a partir de sua experiência subjetiva como pessoa e artista, como esse tema de discussão sobre uma ficção de uma identidade brasileira te afeta? So there is a part here in Portuguese that doesn't have, I don't know, there is in English. The proposal is created around the following question: from your subjective experience as a person and artist, how does this topic of discussion about a fiction of a Brazilian identity affect you? And we can enter the first room, my room, and there I can talk a bit more about what I meant with this fictional identity. Let's hop on. There's going to be a loud sound. And you can, I don't want to be just me talking, you can interrupt me anytime you want.
Okay.
Let's make this a conversation.
I'll turn the volume down a little bit in case it's loud.
Yeah, I think it's a bit loud.
Cool drop in. The sky is like spinning object.
Yes, it's an ocean modifier I made in Blender. It's like a plane with an ocean PBR texture, and then I made an ocean modifier, and all the sky that is used throughout the exhibition is ocean. Because the ocean, there is a symbolic importance in Brazil. The ocean is the connection, was the connection to the outside world for hundreds of years. So here we arrive. Let me see where you are.
I'm behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, I love this robot, this dance. It was about the time I came to know about Mixamo. So Mixamo is a website that has a database of animations. There's a lot of actions, animations, dance, fighting, and all the animations I use in tropical regional fiction are from Mixamo. Thank you, Mixamo. Stay free, please.
Yeah. Yeah, Mixamo is great for human character movements. And I love Mixamo because you can upload any character you want and rig it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, well, my artwork here, I try to imagine and try to bring to reality this future of Brazil. So there's in the screens around here. I don't think it, for me it's not showing, but for you it's showing. You can read Brazil 2071, the year that the artwork should be, the reality that the artwork is in should be. And I can read the statement. I think it's important.
Okay.
For greater understanding. 2020, 2027, 2049, 2071. A great nation permeates the notions of time and space. A territory that rises beyond the geological landmarks that constitute it, based on an idea that there's ideology in the land that is stepped on. Traumas, caravanas, coats of arms, symbols, artifacts, figures and heritages that elevate the country to a greater place, to the future. Bounded by the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the coast will be the main stage for this rise. The opening wing will be firepower, fascinio, and stereotypes. Republic, monarchy, empire. In short commercial fiction, Brazil as we know it and its inhabitants were objects of sale and exchange, and what remains are a large wasteland of 8 million kilometers. How do you say? Uh, it's not cubic. It's yeah,
Uh,
it's good.
8 million kilometers squared.
Square. Yeah,
8.516 million
yeah.
kilometers
And
squared.
from square inland. The elements that once constituted a nation serve as a totem for this territorial representation. So yeah, Brazil as the elements. I'm going to see your screen now because
Yeah.
I
Yeah, so I
think
was
I
just
lost
watching
my.
the full video that you were reading the
Yeah,
statement that
this
was attached to it.
video is like a presentation of this future. Like I try to imagine like robots doing a presentation of this is our country, yeah, like selling the idea, selling the. Yeah, I don't know if this term exists in English, selling your fish.
Selling your fish? No.
Uh, I can't hear we talk selling your fish and then to fish.
But yeah, I like the idea of like robots interpreting the state and trying to create like a documentary or a piece of like this is what this country means. So this huge monument back here, I remember this was one of the first things you uploaded.
Yeah, this is like a shield used by police. In Brazil, we have a lot of repression by the police, especially with distant black indigenous communities. And there's a phrase that you can read inside the visor of this shield. I guess one of these has the translation in English. One of the middle, one from the middle behind the war tank, and it says, "When you eat me, I eat you."
When you
And yeah,
when you leave
when you
me,
eat me, no, you're going to see now.
when you eat me,
When
I
you eat
eat
me,
you.
I eat you. Yeah,
Oh.
this is the idea. How do I say without entering a whole other discussion? There's an idea of Brazilian culture that takes what is best from the outside and then mixes with the inside, and this is called anthropophagy. Anthropophagy. And this practice is based on a real practice from some of Brazilian indigenous people, like some specific practice from some specific people. Not all did that. That would eat the enemy to rise up stronger. But at the same time, this practice called anthropophagy was created in the early 20, 20th century and by an cultural elite. As this week, I think is making 100 years from the creation of this practice and the manifest of this practice. So I bring this phrase here as a provocation, like this is what we get from practicing anthropophagy, uh, like trying to eat from the outside and while trying to become stronger.
So it's like the flow of culture, like
Yeah,
incorporating
well,
outside
yeah,
culture into the inside of
yeah,
Brazil, and then
yeah,
like how it changes and then is
yeah.
like projected and back
For
outwards.
example, yeah, for example, the music that plays in the background. you can volume up a bit. I think is I don't know if it's playing right now.
Yeah, I think it.
I think you have to go near the video.
Oh yeah, because I turned up the volume and all I hear is the gun, the gunshots.
Yeah, gunshots. Yeah,
Okay,
kind of get me nervous
going back
sometimes.
over here.
And this is I think it's from the United States. This song, but it was heavily used by Brazilian funk artists in the 80s and 90s. So it's like a almost instant. It gets almost instant recognition where when it's in a song, like so. This is an example of Brazilian culture taking something from the outside and trying to get stronger using inside and outside influences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the song. I think we might put the volume down to not let YouTube
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking
our
that
video down.
if YouTube
Our video
copyrights it,
down.
copyright
Yeah,
strikes it.
sorry YouTube.
No, we'll see. I think if it does, it allows us to cut that part out of the video for
Yeah,
later.
nice. I think we can head to another room that is a secret room that
Oh, really?
not many people went through,
Oops.
and I think it was no, it's not it, but
I accidentally clicked this one.
no,
But where's the secret?
Okay, yeah, Tropical Original Heaven. I think you can only access through Tropical Original Fiction. And I think it was a mistake of I did of not putting something that signalizes that there is a room there. I'm gonna take you there. Where are
Okay.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revealing secrets right on the show.
Yeah. Where are you, Tom? Yeah, you need to enter my room to enter the secret room.
Okay. Going back into this one.
I'm going to wait for you in the entrance.
Okay.
Where are you?
Just loading up.
Okay. Yeah, see.
Okay.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a room right here.
Oh. Yeah, did not notice
And yeah, and was like the how do you say an element of a cake, the piece of a cake, the
a piece of cake?
I'm going to turn the volume down.
Okay, so we got the dancers. This is like the heaven where everybody's dancing.
Yeah, it's like heaven. And it's like a really famous prayer playing in the background. You gotta take a look at the robot brain.
Oh, gotta find the robot brain.
E perdoai-nos as nossas ofensas, assim como nós perdoamos a quem nos tem ofendido. E não nos deixeis cair em tentação.
Is it past the bullet bull?
Yeah, I'm there.
Bible.
Looking at him. Up behind you.
Behind me, okay.
I think it's disappearing because of that. There it is.
Oh, this guy.
Maria, cheia de graça.
Let me get out of the
O
way.
Senhor é convosco. Bendita
So yeah,
sois
this is
vós
like
entre as mulheres, e bendito
I gotta read a
vosso
statement,
ventre,
or maybe you can read it
Jesus.
and then I can explain.
Santa Maria,
Alright.
Mãe de Deus,
BBB.
rogai por
Bullet
nós,
Bull Bible.
pecadores,
In Brazilian politics, the BBB bench is a term used to informally describe three powerful political factions, bacandas, benches, in the National Congress associated with the conversation or the conservative right. These encompass the bullet bench, bancada de bala, legislators supportive of protecting and expanding gun rights, the rural bench, bancada ruralista, often referred to as the bancada da boi, the ox/bull bench. Legislators aligned with agribusiness interests, and the evangelical Bible bench, bancada evangelica, often referred to as the bancada de Biblia, aligned with the country's evangelical movement. In 2071, after the replacement of the entire Brazilian population, the Brazilians' androids, who roam the territory, have as their religion the ideas of these benches.
Yeah, I came up with it, I think, in the last minute before the exhibition
Ave Maria, cheia de
going to be
graça,
launched.
o Senhor é
And
convosco.
I was trying to give some context of this future, whereas the whole Brazilian population has been exchanged and for robots, and these robots have this religion where they pray for the bullet, the bull, and the Bible. And it, mm, it only gets stronger here in Brazil, these benches, these political benches. So I thought initially, if I was talking about something that in the future wouldn't happen at all, but I think it's going to take a while
Yeah,
historically.
it's interesting to think about which cultural movements or ideas will take on a new life or become part of history, and which ones will just disappear. And
Yeah, I try to think about it when I try to recreate culture movement like that. It's it's going to happen only in the moment, or it's going to stick around.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I think,
amplifying the themes of the present into what they could become in the future.
yeah. I guess we can go to other artists' room. Like we have only half an hour.
Yeah, let's go. Can we check out some of the other artists in tropical meridional fiction?
Sure, sure. We must. Let's see what you chose. Let's see Juno Rain. No, no. Oh, you can choose.
Yeah, I'm going for Juno Rain.
Okay.
I'm going to read it before we go in. Juno Rain, Porto Alegre, Brazil, non-binary, is curious about the arts and worlds, always looking for a way to connect poem and image in dialogue with their subjectivity. Before looking at the world, looks at themselves and searches for inspiration in this abyss to see society through its cracks, expressing these multiple meanings through lines, images, and poems that best manifest all the possibilities of being a dissident body.
If Juno is watching, I want to say hi.
Okay, hi Juno.
Yeah, Juno. It was him that said, "Where are you?" And really beautiful artwork, really, really touching. I actually have the poem here that it has in the video, and I asked him if I could read it, and he said yes.
Okay.
So I think before we move around the space, I'm going to read. For just for information, the poem is inside the video. When Archangel Gabriel blew on that morning life's breath over a baby who hardly seemed to have been traded for the placenta, a bald mushy head, a wondering look on their face, which could support them for the rest of their life. In a forgotten hospital, amidst a capital city, a miracle of life, of transformation, had then been made, almost as if out of clay had this new human who filled their lungs with air, whereas they sobbed, for they had finally come alive through that heavenly body and into man's world being made. Or, for those who do not believe in things such as heavens and its archangels and sins made of a clay, it went like this, simply put. A woman in her 40s, bearing her last breath of fertility before menopause, finds herself astounded by the alien face who had come out of her womb. Amid, I don't know how to say this word in English, amidst, among all the pollution in the hospital built on the edge of Ipiranga's smooth margins. Ipiranga is a river in Brazil. This woman named her long-awaited alien, bought clothes that fit the name, but did not fit her alien. Alien wanted transformation, and alien was transformation. Alien wanted to be, and alien was, but no one saw them yet. Alien was so many things while searching for their own reflection in the mirror, until aliens saw that the best thing to ever happen to them was to be an alien. Far from the cis norms and systems, and your systems is right with a C, unfortunately far from their blood, but close to themselves. And fuck all this Archangel and Gabriel shit. Fuck the hospital with its binary medicine and the registry office with its certificate. Only aliens knew about themselves, and they would carry this truth in their chest all throughout their extraterrestrial life. So yeah, I think this speaks so heavily for me because I know Juno since he was a kid, and I've been through it all, what he's talking here, and it's really, really touching, and I don't know, I just love this artwork. And in one side, there's Juno pics from when he was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and in the other side, there's Juno's shaving his head as like last year when the show came out, and I made with him these models of human reproductive organs trying to mix of male and female organs, and I really liked it in working with him, and sensing that his work came to existence and a work that only existed throughout the poem. It was really, really uh, amazing to see.
Yeah, it's powerful to see the kind of like the childhood photos and then the present photos or the present video,
Yeah,
and like the the sculptures like in between, and yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
composition of the space.
Brazil. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. The composition of the space is nice with the, because it's like a kind of contained zone where you can like see from one like one part of the transition to the
Yeah,
other.
Brazil is one of the countries that most kill trans people. I think it's the most one. So this is the answer that Juno uh, gave for me when I asked him about the fiction of Brazilian identity. This trans identity, non-binary identity, is one of the identities that gets eaten up when you try to create a whole identity for a country
Mm-hmm.
so big as Brazil. Let us go to the next one.
Yeah, I want to check out. Let's see. How about Mauricio?
It can be. Let me go to my picture. I think Mauritius was the only work that already existed in the physical world, Right. This is a photo artwork based on photographs, and it was really challenging to try to get this project to life because already existed. In contrary to the other that came to life with the exhibition with short commercial fiction.
So it was harder to work
And
with something that already
I
existed.
yeah I think not harder, but it was as in the other works I had some freedom. Here I had freedom, but I had something to work with, and sometimes it you can get a little uh, frozen while frozen while
Yeah,
doing
Frozen.
the work. But it came out well. It came out. I really enjoyed it. Here I used the ocean. I used the ocean with Mauricio approval as the sky and the ground, and I think it gives a specific vibe to it because I think it's of the five artwork season, only in those artworks is the ones that doesn't have a ground. So you want to read the statement or I
Yeah,
can read?
I want to read this
What?
one.
Okay.
Vir a ser, to become. Since the arrival of the Portuguese, a painful process of new formation of society has been established in Brazil. Thus, the multiculturalism present in the country is rooted in the suffering of our ancestors. It is in this scenario that the miscegenation process
Miscegenation.
is shown as one of the most inhuman situations imposed on enslaved Africans and indigenous people. This hierarchical process between the races established a complex system that is still very strong today. It is in this context that the series Vir a Ser, to become presents cuts of Brazilian social formation that involve miscegenation, identities, and fragmentation. I use craft paper as support, also called brown paper, to raise such questions that involve the complexity of the term brown, as well as the use of self-portrait for seeing me since childhood in these identity conflicts.
Yeah. Both Mauricio and the other Henrique are from Belém, Pará. It's like a city in the other end of Brazil where I had the opportunity of meeting him and Henrique in 2017, and it was really interesting seeing people outside of my state because and Andrews I know for a long time, and having these two places that are a contrast to each other, having these different answers. Because it's a process of mixogenation that happens all across Brazil. But seeing how artists from different parts react to it and create artwork through it was really, really powerful.
So did you connect with these artists online before you met them?
Yeah, I'm connected with like individually, like one time for the art, one time for the artist to explain the artwork, and I explained what was possible doing in New York City. It was kind of a residency, but I working with them solely and not working as a group. I For my next project in New York City, I want to do that, work as a group instead of me working with the artist and not working with the whole. And with Mauricio and Henrique and Wendu, I did an online meeting. And Juno, we spent two or three of the most hottest days of summer in his house. He lives nearby, working in his project. So it was a very very interesting practice. But tropical regional fiction, then it will have in the next few months a part two where I invite other artists He actually won an award here in Brazil called Marco Antonio Vilaça Prêmio de Arte Digital, award for digital arts. And so I'll be inviting other artists, other 5 artists, and then I want to create a group practice, and we create the exhibition as a whole together.
Awesome. Is that different? Is that the same or different from your current residency project? Just for the people who are listening.
My current residency project is my work for tropical marine fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whereas this version of tropical marine fiction, my artwork had the same name. Watched Over by Machines of Loving Grace will be my artwork, and then I'll invite other artists through this artwork. This artwork will be like a launching material for artists to inspire themselves. And I'm thinking still if I should call tropical marine fiction not two, but like other name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, well, it'll be great to see the next like version of this idea take shape with more artists too.
We have a few months on the way. I think it's going to launch. It has to launch in September. I think by the end of September.
Okay, yeah, it's got a few more months.
Okay, let's do Henrique Montagne.
I always like it when people use PNGs as like cutouts of
Sorry?
I always like it when people use these PNGs of like cutouts of characters in the spaces.
Yeah. It gives it's different than solely working with 3D, right?
Yeah.
It's almost as a statue vibe to it. And I really enjoyed this place, this room, this space, because it has its minimalistic. It's this minimalistic vibe. Meu Deus do céu. English sometimes gets me a little confused. And it's just the tree, the star, and I actually opened like a NASA report to explain this phrase. So if you click in the phrase right there, I think it has the translation in English. From the Sahara Desert to the Amazon forest, a fig tree will be born. Mm-hmm. So before you read the statement, I want to read this report from NASA explaining that the desert dust feeds Amazon forests. And every year...
Wait, what is the report from?
NASA.
NASA? Like the space organization?
Yeah, it's space, yeah. It's like a study from 2015. Every year, intense Saharan winds send enormous clouds of dust on a transatlantic journey to the Amazon basin. This dust, much of it originating in an ancient lake bed in Chad, is rich in phosphorus. When it reaches the rainforest, the remains of long-dead organisms of the Sahara provide crucial nutrients to the rainforest living flora. Phosphorus, which is essential to plant growth, is in short supply in the Amazon. Desert dust dumped in the forest every year helps diminish this deficit. So it's like wonderful to imagine how one environment affects the other across the world. Mm-hmm. And Henrique's work is about it. So I think you can read the statement now. His statement is self-explanatory. I just wanted to give this context about a little bit of information. Yeah. I did not know about this before his artwork.
And I was noticing how the space itself kind of looks like it's windy, like it could be transplanting seeds from across the world with huge winds. Okay.
Yeah, and it has this bird noise.
Yeah. From the Sahara Desert to the Amazon forest, a fig tree will be born. In this work I return to my family ancestry, showing in the installation and the title ethnic contrasts from two distant cultures, but which were found in the Amazon. I talk about the persistence of memory and the fight against the erasure of family memory by the process of colonialization and Christianity in Brazil and in the Amazon. There was a diaspora process by the Arabs, Jews, and Moroccan Muslims who converted to Christianity forcibly to come to Brazil at different times in the history of the Amazon. Called New Christians, they came to the interiors and had direct contact with the indigenous and native peoples of the region. In this work, I return to my family ancestry, showing in an installation and in the title ethnic contrasts from two distant cultures, from which were found in the Amazon. I talk about the persistence of memory and the fight against the erasure of family memory by the process of colonialization and Christianity in Brazil and in the Amazon. There was a
I think it really repeats itself
yeah.
here.
I was just thinking, am I reading the same thing again?
I think my paternal surname, I can read the rest.
Sure.
My paternal surname Figueira is that of a new Christian. They gave names of trees to new Christians to become Brazilian citizens, these being Arabs, Jews, or Indians. And in a way, the past reverberates in my own life, as I am the son of inter-ethnic couple. My father is an indigenous man of indigenous descent by my two grandparents, his parents. The family Figueira from my paternal grandfather comes from the Tapajós region, western state of Pará, where many peoples were being erased by miscegenation and urbanization, and my mother is white, but of Italian and Arab descent. It's interesting to think of the contrast between these two landscapes in the title and installation. I chose these two men, an indigenous and a Moroccan Arab with their proper weapons, as a reading that each one establishes himself as a protector of his history, despite the process of erasing cultural and ethnic ratio in Brazil by Christianity and the idea of nation. The ancestral tree present in various cultures and in the history of the world grows there in between. In the arid desert and the forest has been decimated more and more by agribusiness by European and North American companies. These men with their weapons are to protect history. There is also a natural and methodological correlation between the Amazon rainforest and the Sahara Desert. The Sahara is located in North Africa and its sand crosses the Atlantic and feeds the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon is in the North of South America, but a little below the desert, forming a flow of migration through the air. One needs the other to exist. I think some interesting thoughts that came up to me now is how this exhibition. I was inspired by Alice Wanson's work "Eat Me," that also participated in the festival
Mm-hmm.
last year, and with that exhibition, I was inspired thinking about the space without the limitations of the physical space. But still, I think in drop comedy fiction, I was too too connected with the physical space to begin with. So, but I tried to push the boundaries, try to imagine a space that could not exist in the physical world, or I could not replicate in the physical world. And right now, in my current project for my residency, I always think about it, like how can I disconnect with the limitations of the physical and work with the almost limitation of the virtual.
Mm-hmm.
And this is interesting because I think 1 year after the festival, well, I would give this exhibition a lot of different solutions, like the stacks. I I think we could think of audio, or right now with Benny's loved new feature of writing text in the space.
Yeah.
It could use that, but yeah, just an interesting thought that came up to me. Like how a year makes difference. Even though I only launched this project, I did a bunch of other projects in between that never launched them. So this living inside the platform and using its tools, it facilitates me to think about the virtual space.
Yeah, finding the edges and finding what hasn't been done yet and what is possible, and like expanding what how you think about what's possible. It's
Yeah,
it's difficult as like humans who live in a physical world to not think about what the limitations of physical reality are, and and like speculate about what a virtual space could be that's detached from reality.
yeah,
It's an exercise.
yeah, yeah. The next exercise.
There's
Let's
one
go to the
more.
last room. Yeah, it's Woendu and my work. The one's the most chaotic one, so I'm sweating here.
Is it hot?
It's hot in there. Uh, still in Auckland.
Uh, not. It's not too bad. It's starting to get warmer. Getting out of winter now.
Yeah. Yes, it is artwork is like a whole lot of information being thrown in your face, and exactly to be it was created to meant this feeling of getting culture being thrown in your face.
Getting culture thrown in your face.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot here.
yeah. While I was creating this space with Oendu, I was kind of anxious and confused, but at the end
I think it
it proved to
produces a
be.
at least it produces a reaction in me of like information overload. It's like all of these
Yeah,
screens kind of like pointed at you, and everything is like demanding your attention.
yeah. I think you can volume up a bit so you can listen to the audio noise as well, audio information as well.
Okay.
Be prepared. And what I like to think, and at the time people were not used to it, is hopping off the hexagonal shape and going in the space. Coming off this grid and entering in and seeing all this information. Uh, so this work by Oendu and myself.
How did you pick the videos?
Sorry?
How did you choose which videos to include?
Yeah, we were looking for videos that had relation with Brazilian dance cultural movements like samba, funk brasileiro, passinho, old passinho, uh, carnival. Oendu has a research in performance and as well as dance, and so he wanted to integrate this research into his work, and I brought this space idea. So it's a work that we signed together, and I think it resumes, resumes, that's not the word, uh, embraces this idea of cultural uh, exchange and culture as a product, because here in Brazil we use cultural as a product. We sell our culture, we sell our goods of the country, we tend to sell ourselves for outside. So it we're trying to get on this idea, and you want culture, here it is, a lot of culture, like bombing of culture,
Yeah.
a lot of information. So the name of the artwork is, where is Splendid Cradle, export type product. Cradle, a Splendid Cradle is a line from Brazilian, how do you say it in English? Brazilian, the official song of a country.
Oh, the anthem.
The anthem of Brazil that has this phrase, "Splendid cradle versus plainly." So, and let me read the statement here. And Splendid Cradle, export tribe product, refers to the accept of the Brazilian national anthem, "Lying Forever in a Splendid Cradle." During the 2013 demonstration to Brazil, it was repeated that the giant woke up from his splendid cradle. Soon after, in 2016, there was a coup in the presidency of the republic. In a current government, Brazil lays down for American imperialism and new fashion saddles with a genocidal policy. Our state-owned companies are sold at a bargain price abroad, and our products are exported cheaply, while our population is expensive for what they produce. While they appropriate from our culture, we are classified as eccentric and vulgar. Would vulgarity be greater than our submission as the cheapest meat on the world market? The hand-working Brazilian wants to have a beer and eat a steak and to feel happy again. So, what does the market want? Does the market want to make money by investing productive, product, productive things? The market has to like me. Does the market want to make money from the population consuming? It has to like me. But if the market wants to make money at the expense of the sale of the national patrimony, it's better to be scared. Lula, ex-president of Brazil. So yeah, uh, it talks about this selling of Brazil, uh, selling our forests, selling our products. Our products that are done here, produced here, costs like three, four, sometimes even 10 times higher than you can find in outside markets in the world, in Europe, in the United States,
Mm.
while the population is in starvation. Brazil was in the mapa da fome, how do you say it in English? Hungry map? No, hunger map. Uh, yeah,
Uh,
hunger map, and and it went outside of it of this list in the early 2000s, and now it's back again. So yeah, I think I think all of the artworks were a lot of powerful, but I really enjoyed creating this artwork with Oendu.
yeah, it's really cool to be able to go into each one and kind of think about each artist's interpretation of the future of Brazil, like expanding what the issues are today, or like what the cultural like exports and value are today, into like what that could become 50 years from now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah, that's it.
yeah.
That's the whole of short commercial fiction.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, and it'll be great to see the next
hope you
version of
enjoy.
this. And
Yeah,
for anybody
next
who's
few
listening
months.
now who didn't hear in the beginning, Henrique is our current artist in residence at New Art City, so he's working on a new project with us that will be coming out, I think, at the end of next month, hopefully.
March, yeah,
Yeah, at the
with
end of
the
March.
festival.
Um, okay, well, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much, Henrique, for joining, and yeah, any other artists who want to be on this show, if you've released work on New Art City, we'd love to have you on and like speak with you about your work and the ideas behind it and all of that. And I guess that's it. We'll sign off. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan, for the opportunity. It's really, really awesome being here talking about the work. It's really important to me and the artist. I'm really glad being the second artist in residency. I'm actually nervous, but I think I can get myself up to it. Uh, and I'm really enjoying all the help that you're providing, all the team. Shout out to Sammy, to Benny, the others that I don't remember the name. And thank you all watched it are traveling through tropical marine fiction, and yeah,
Yep. Thank you. Bye bye.
nah.